What is up, you guys? We are back. Welcome back. We back for another one. Hope y'all having a good day today, man. Hey, I just did a reaction to the Heel series that's gonna be on Showtime about wrestling, and they got the dude from Arrow. So I said, hey, why not? Let's keep that energy going. So in this video, we gonna be reacting to 10 over dramatic moments in WWE. Now, we all know when it comes to wrestling, obviously, you know what I mean? I don't want to say the word. It might be, some kids watching. I ain't trying to crush no spirits, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But when you be watching wrestling, I used to be watching it, and some of the moves, you be looking, you be like, for real, come on now. I know that didn't do that much damage. Man, and if the move did do some type of damage, like all of this flopping around and you know what I mean, just running around the ring, like my boy Ric Flair, once he get somebody giving the business, that man running across the ring, he flipping across the turnbuckle, and then he just face diving down into the mat. Man, so we gonna get into this, over dramatic moments and see what's going on.
Professional wrestling, at its core, is really just another form of acting. The promos, your backstage segments, commentary, even the wrestling itself. It's a series of storytellers conveying their stories through various forms of acting. And there might be no greater guilty pleasure of mine than seeing some nonsense acting in movies.
I do have that. Let me run that one back, man.
Of acting. And there might be no greater guilty pleasure of mine than seeing some nonsense acting in movies. So it's only natural that when the wrestlers start running sloppy shops, whether it be behind a microphone or between the ropes, I'm having a pretty good day. I'm D Wicked from Watch WWE, and here's 10 WWE moments that were just way too dramatic. Number 10, Brie, please shut up. I don't mean to kick this list off with such disrespect to a woman by who all means seems lovely, but Brie Bella just is not great at acting. Maybe she can. Maybe if I watched Total Bellas, I'd see a totally different side of her acting prowess, and for all I know, the woman has range, but that range does not cover screaming. During Daniel Bryan's only ever feud while holding the WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Kane of all people, how odd, Bryan and his wife were trying to leave the arena safely before being confronted by the big red monster. Horror movie cliche struck at its hardest when Bryan's car wouldn't start because of course it wouldn't. Kane made his attack, but the entire backstage scene, it's not only acted terribly by Brie Bella especially, she spends at least 80% of the segment doing just the worst screaming I've ever heard. Number 9, I wish you died in the womb. Jesus. Well, if I'm dogging on the Bellas and their bad acting, might as well hand y'all the twofer and get this disaster piece out of the way while I still have a little sanity. The Bellas had a feud with Stephanie McMahon, leading to Nikki turning heel on her sister, and was probably the worst thing that happened in all of 2014, and that year was the year of Ebola. It somehow delivered even worse than that and the aforementioned Brie shrieks. Number 8, The Great Fall of the Game. So Triple H is a wrestler. That's pretty much been my assessment on his entire career. Besides being the Attitude Era's most consistent heel, he never struck me as particularly interesting between the ropes or with a microphone in hand, but I'll give Hunter Hearst Helmsley this. When he wants to be funny, dude can turn the comedy chops up to 11. We saw that on the first COVID-era SmackDown where he played jokester commentator and one-off cameraman for a fantastic bit, and we especially saw it during the hilarious oversell by The Game. During commercials, wrestlers often like to mess around with the formula and pull out some stunts that you just can't see on television. You know, such as Triple H getting hit and doing a solid minute-long sell, trying desperately, flailing arms just to keep his balance, only to
Yo! Is somebody giving you the boot? You going down, man. That's just what it is. You ain't finna be standing up. Look at Shawn Michaels' face. He looking like, man, you know we didn't rehearse this, man. You supposed to fall down. Now you just want to stand up and try to sell this.
Finally say, hey, you know what, Shawn? I'm good, and then end it in a flare flip. It's awesome.
That's that boy right there.
Number 7, The Great Fall of Some Jobber. Okay, so the Bludgeon Brothers definitely happened, right? Like, that's a team that existed. I didn't have a fever dream where 2/3 of the Wyatt family started prancing around with giant mallets. The Fiend uses a mallet. So anyways, during a match pitting Big Roan and Big Harper against Small Jobber, the little man gets brought up to get sent straight back down, but not before airing out a just ridiculous shriek, worse than Isaiah Cassidy's over in AEW once he hits the peak of the powerbomb. Listen, man, James Ellsworth made it clear that no one jobbers can act their way right into a role, but that's just not the way to do it.
Oh, no. Oh.
Number 6. Oh yeah, that one stunned him. The Stone Cold Stunner will always be in contention for greatest finisher of all time, and there's no better man to take that move than Dwayne "The Rocky" Johnson. He was infamous for flopping around like a fish once his chin met Austin's shoulder, and apparently there's some legitimate backstory to the whole bizarreness of his sell, as Austin promised to buy Rocky certain amounts of beer based on how wild he would take the move. I've been making fun of most of these entries, but overdramatic really is not an automatic bad thing. It's just like overrated things can still be good, even if they're dramatic. And I'd be lying if I said The Rock's shotgun blasted away selling didn't add something to many a match's finish. Number 5, Hogan V Michaels. So basically, take The Rock's selling of the Stone Cold Stunner, but apply it to every single move of the match, and you have Hulk Hogan versus Shawn Michaels. Overdramatic isn't always a bad thing, and honestly, I still don't know if this was bueno or mal. On one hand, the match itself is sort of a disaster, with Shawn overselling Hulk's offense so much that it really doesn't resemble much of a pro wrestling match. On the other hand, he's so spectacularly overdramatic.
Oh, let me have another back too, man. He had the extra
on one hand, the match itself
reason.
is sort of a disaster, with Shawn overselling Hulk's offense so much that it really doesn't resemble much of a pro wrestling match. On the other hand, he's so spectacularly overdramatic in certain spots, literally flipping over from simple punches, you just can't help but enjoy the nonsense. Number 4, Japanese commentary. I know. Watch WWE, shouldn't be talking about other companies, let alone entire countries. But there's no other list
boy.
that I think I could throw this in, and it's a travesty how few Americans know about the Japanese commentators. Listen, even if you don't mess with New Japan, its style, its lengthy matches, just throw one match on in the background and have the Japanese commentary enabled. And I dare you not to end up watching that match and being fully invested. There's just something about the Japanese language itself. It just allows for a level of passion to push through its words more than any other language, I think. Certainly more than you're going to find in any other commentary booth. This is 100% over-dramatic, done perfectly. Because while they're selling the ever-loving shit out of big spots and big matches, you cannot help but feel that raw energy pulsing through you.
What the referee doing?
Number 3, Shawn visits the Upside Down, and while the Heartbreak Kid never stepped onto the set of Stranger Things, it seems he still found a way into the show's alternate dimension, or at least replicated its namesake, as he found himself all topsy-turvy during a match against Psycho Sid. And for a solid second, the man is straight up, side down. Michaels comes off the top rope in a boot from Sid and flops onto his back before kicking off and managing to just seriously perfectly land on him.
Look at this cat, man. Hey, Shawn Michaels one of the best that do it, man. Shouts out to my boy Sid Justice too, man.
His head, and for the flash of a camera, Shawn Michaels is exactly as he was on the top rope moments prior, yet flipped perfectly 180, and I just can't get over how dopey this picture looks.
Take a chance here.
That is crazy.
Number 2, the world's strongest push. It's only natural that Mark Henry, the world's strongest man, would also possess the world's strongest pushing capabilities. I'm talking the kind of strength that the atmosphere can't even fully register at once and has to bring a delay to. You know, the old stagger backwards a few steps before the full force loads and hits you and then you get sent packing. Oh, it's a classic, and Mark has never done that move better than against Big Bad David Batista. Mark's on the outside of the ropes but pushes Batista towards the center of the ring, and that's right, folks. Instead of actually pushing him down, Batista at first just gets sent back multiple steps, and then the full impact of Mark's power loads, it strikes, and Batista is sent hurtling towards the mat below. It's just incredible.
The world's strongest man.
And number 1, JTG. While Mark's push is so overpowered, Earth literally cannot process it at once. At least his strength is merely mortal. What Santino Marella does to his opponents, pulling out an actual Cobra, is borderline heinous. And no one got it worse than poor JTG. See, as terrible as it was that Santino used a real Cobra during his matches, at least he had professionals remove the venom so as to not
what kind of move is that, man?
Death. But on this night, Santino forgot, and he ended up letting that Cobra sink its fangs into JTG and explode his body with toxins. You can see it. The second that snake hits his body, he begins convulsing, and after a quick pinfall, JTG was immediately rushed to the hospital where he was proclaimed dead. The end.
Hey, man, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, I don't know who that dude was, but that dude was just wreaking havoc over there. He had some good moves, man. Them was like some good old school, like classic moves, like just thrashing you. Like, man, I don't even know who that dude was, but man, that dude was just straight up wreaking havoc. Like, woo! I like dudes like that, man. Like this new WWE and wrestling they got, man. Man, I don't know what's going on. Old school, hey, that's what I'm talking about, man. But whoever that dude was, that's who everybody need to be wrestling like right now. Like that dude, man, straight up. That dude had that joint. But hey, man, that joint was funny though, man. From a sock, dog, for real? Come on, man. What type of finishing move is that? That's what I'm talking about. You gonna put on a green sock and you gonna do whatever you do and then turn it and then man, get out of here with that, man. You need, man, whatever, man. Hey, if you're here for the first time, make sure you leave a like. And make sure you leave a comment and subscribe. And turn on the bell notification so you can be aware the next time your boy, Mr. I See Nat, drops his next reaction video. Until the next time, y'all know the vibes. Peace.